Good morning. What's up, everybody? Peter McKinnon here, and welcome back to another tutorial. It is Monday. We are getting into it. I'm just gonna teach you guys something quick today, something dope, something that you will probably most definitely use. If you shoot any type of video, you will use this. Before we get started, I want to address what you're probably thinking right now, which is, damn, Pete, that's a bright t-shirt. And yes, it most definitely is neon orange. Fun fact, I've had this t-shirt for like 11 years. The follow-up question to that is, how do you still fit into a t-shirt 11 years later? And if you saw the bottom of this shirt, you would know the answer to that quite quickly. Let's teach camera stuff, why don't we? Okay, so we all know what speed ramping is. Something's in slow-mo, you pick up the coffee mug, goes back down, card springs, all of these cool. Speed ramping is awesome. If you have slow-mo footage and you love to use slow-mo footage, like I do, speed ramping can really help at least change it up a little bit, make it feel a little bit different, and sometimes it just looks super badass. Speed ramping stuff is amazing. If you don't speed ramp, I'll leave the little thing right there. You can check out that video. But here's the problem with speed ramping when you're shooting in slow-mo. Okay, so when you shoot in 120 frames a second, which is like what I do all my slow-mo in, or maybe you're shooting at 60 frames a second, depending on the camera that you have, maybe you're shooting even faster than that, who knows? The thing is, the Canon 1DX Mark II specifically records in 30p. So when you're taking that slow motion clip and you're speeding it up so that maybe it pans around somebody, and right when it goes behind their shoulders, it speed ramps to the next side. The problem is there's no motion blur. It just looks like a weird soap opera that you like fast forwarded for 2 seconds and then hit play again. Because you're filming in slow motion plus the speed ramp, it's just this weird, it looks weird. And I didn't start doing this technique until like 2 weeks ago when I was editing something and I was speed ramping around myself and I was like, this looks weird. So I figured to myself, why don't I just keyframe in some directional blur into the speed ramp and then boom, render that out, Bob's your uncle, we're laughing. That's a Canadian term. If you want to go ahead and look that up, feel free, I'll wait. So that's what I'm gonna teach you guys today. Here's what it looks like if you didn't use directional blur. Here's what it looks like with directional blur. So it's not crazy over the top, but it's one of those really nice subtle things that when you're watching it, you don't know that you like it, but your brain knows that you like it. And you're like, I liked that. And then when you look back and you compare them, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, directional blur. That actually enhances it quite a bit. A little tweak that makes a big, big difference. And I love the little things that I can implement into my workflow, into my work that are very, very small, but make a big, big impact. It's little things like that I feel are sometimes more valuable to me than the big things that you think need to make big impacts, which ultimately, sometimes they don't. I think that made sense. Yeah, little things, big impacts. Sometimes big things don't make big impacts. Okay, let's jump into the screen. Figuratively. All right, so here we have a normal clip. This is the clip we're gonna be using. I've selected my in and out points. If we hit spacebar, it is just a 120 speed clip, slowly rotating around me as I'm taking pictures of Marcus in the middle of the road in northern Sweden. So cool clip, but way too long. This just takes way too long. Nobody wants to sit around and watch this rotation happen for 40 minutes. So what do? We speed ramp it. So this is what it looks like when it's speed ramped normally. So it comes to here, then woof, goes all the way around, and it looks much better. But here's what it looks like with the motion blur, with the directional blur. It's super subtle, but you can definitely see it when it just goes around. Play that again, you can see it's subtle, but like it's there. If we play the regular one again, it just doesn't look the same. It's pretty easy to do, so let's just go ahead and do it right now. I'll delete these off the timeline. This is the chunk that we want to use, so I set my in and my out points, I on my keyboard, O on my keyboard to get my out point. I can literally just drag straight into the timeline from there, and we're good to go. I've made this track bigger, by the way, so I can see more details on it. So you can just drag that up and you should be fine. Go ahead and right click on this little effects symbol, go to time remapping, hit speed. That's gonna bring up our speed ramp parameters for this clip. Command plus on your keyboard to zoom in a little bit. So they'll hit spacebar to preview this. Pick a spot where we wanna start the ramp. So let's just say we wanna start it here. You're gonna hit P on your keyboard, you're gonna click and make a point. Hit A to get that cursor back, and on the right side of where you made that point, click and hold and drag all the way up. We're gonna go 1,000 times faster than this 120 clip is. So now if we're gonna play what that looks like, oof, and maybe we want it to stop right about there. So we're gonna hit P again, make another point, hit A. We're gonna drag that back down to 100. That's bringing it back to normal 120 speed right there. And now we have a ramp. So if we preview that, there we go. Now, if we zoom in even more, Command plus on your keyboard, if you click this little point and drag it to the right, you can tweak these out so it's a nice smooth transition. We can do the same with this one, going the opposite way. I think it's a little bit longer. Click on those, drag those out so it's nice and smooth. So now we have a smooth speed ramp. It's not really like, it's not just like a harsh cut, like a slow, fast, slow. It's easing in and out, which is important. Okay, so from this point, I'm gonna nest this clip now. I feel like sometimes when I start to add multiple effects and keyframes and ramps to the same clip, things stop working and get weird. So as I keep stacking effects and effects on top of the same clip, I usually keep nesting it so that I feel like I'm working with a clean slate. It's kind of like collapsing all the layers on your video clip. Be sure to save it beforehand. You can even copy this and paste it further down your timeline just in case you do mess it up, or open a different sequence and paste it in there so that you have a fresh copy from when you started this, just in case you do ruin it or anything like that, although it doesn't really take very long to do. So go ahead, right click on this, hit nest, and hit enter. You're good to go. So that clip is now nested. We can apply more effects to it. If you hit spacebar, you can see the speed ramp is still there, like so. Now we're gonna add the directional blur. So go over here to effects, click on this little magnifying glass, type in blur, hit enter. Directional blur is gonna show up right here. Click that, drag it onto the clip, good to go. Now over here in effects controls, you're gonna see at the very bottom here, we have directional blur, we have the direction and the blur strength, okay? So if we were to make the blur strength or the blur length super dramatic, it's just one big like, wow, directional blur, wow. It's a little bit too overkill. I kind of like to have it around 11. 11's like a sweet spot for me. It's just enough, but it's not too bad. And then if we make the direction of this, you can see that blur changes direction just like a clock. So throw it at like 94. 94 is gonna give it like a nice horizontal left to right blur. We don't want it going up and down, obviously. So like 94 and 11 is kind of where you want it. But let's reset these to 0 for a quick second because we have to keyframe these into the exact spots of where the ramp happens. Now the one issue with nesting your clip is I can't see visually where that ramp happens anymore, but it's pretty easy to find it. Like if you just use your arrow keys and cycle through the clip one frame at a time, you'll notice it gets considerably faster once you get to the ramp. So like normal, 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 there it is. Like that's obviously where the ramp starts right there. And then it ramps all the way around and you can see instantly it slows down. That's where the ramp stops. So it's not hard to find. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go right to where the ramp starts, which is right here. And we're gonna go back 3 frames, 1, 2, 3. And we're gonna make keyframes by hitting these little stopwatches with the direction and the blur length at 0. Then we're gonna go forward to where that ramp starts, which is right there. And we're gonna change this to our settings, 94 and 11. Perfect. Now we see that blur kick in. We're gonna use our arrow keys to go all the way over to where that ramp stops, which is right about there. We'll go back. Right there, that's about where it stops. We can go forward 1. We will make the same keyframes by hitting these little diamonds. Boom, boom. And then we'll go forward 2 frames, 1, 2, whatever. And then we'll make this 0, the value of each of these 0. So essentially what's happening is it's not blurred at all. And then when we get to our spot, it keyframes from 0 up to our blur strength. It keeps that motion blur going all the way through that ramp, and then it keyframes itself back down to 0. So now when we play that in real time, ooh, that looks good. Throw a little sound effect in there, a little whoosh action. That's it. You've just keyframed in a directional blur, added a speed ramp, and that clip looks considerably better than when it was just up here. And it took 16 minutes to finish. Let's watch it one more time because it's just tasty. Ooh, love it. Have at it. All right, so there you have it. It's not very hard to do, and I would encourage you guys to think about sometimes different ways to enhance your footage with techniques that you probably already know. I didn't know how to do that, but I've keyframed things in Premiere before. I've used speed ramps before. We know that Premiere and these different programs that we use to edit in, Final Cut, that kind of stuff, they have built-in effects. So how could we use those effects to keyframe them into footage, or use the skills that we've learned in previous videos from previous people, from previous shoots, to amalgamate them all together, that's a fun word, to create better videos, better visuals, tighter edits. How can we do that? This is a perfect example of that. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's the little things that make the big difference. So hit that like button if you like this video, smash it if that's something that you're into, you know, 2018 style. Subscribe if you aren't already, would love to have you, and I will see you guys in the next video, which will be tomorrow because it's 2 Minute Tuesday. But didn't we stop 2 Minute Tuesday? Isn't that over? Is it over? I don't know. I've said too much. Also, I went back to this backdrop because you guys were like, where's the old backdrop? Why we're so much better? So, here we are. Who wants to see more magic tricks?